There we go.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, everybody?
We're having some technical issues with YouTube. Yeah. That's why we're a few minutes late.
Yeah.
Not gonna do it.
All right.
Oh, we're gonna run out of time, man.
So, Big Daddy, remember Otto, welcome to I kind of start all over.
Merry Christmas!
So, Merry Christmas to everybody. Welcome to Otto's Grotto, all things geek and unique, featuring 3 Men in the Basement. This is our Christmas special. I am Otto. I am the Santa Claus of this holiday special. To my right is my Rudolph, my partner Roger Levesque.
What's
and
up,
over here,
Grinch?
all the way to the back, we have the Grinch, the executive producer, Bernie 1869. So, this is eventually going to go on YouTube. I've been planning this all week. Of course, I screwed up, so this will go on YouTube eventually. So I tried to get this live. It didn't really work, so we're just going to move on. So we got 60 minutes to talk to you guys and tell you about all the things that we've been wanting to talk about.
We got a lot of stuff.
We got a lot of stuff, so we're going to cram it in. Who's online right now? We got a bunch of people, everybody online?
Got 8 people on right now.
All right, there we go. So I want to talk about a gift I got from my buddy Nemesis Prime. So if you guys don't follow Nemesis Prime on Instagram, please do. He's a good friend of mine.
Variant whore.
He is the true variant whore. He has hashtagged it. He is notorious for all different types of variants, Zenoscope stuff, and everything like that. So he sent me a package today. No, yes.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh.
Merry Christmas to your libations and whatever you're having. Our libations today are straight from my buddy at Phantom Brewing, my buddy John Petray. This is 3 Men in a Basement IPA right here. So
what's better than 3 Men in a Basement IPA?
No, nothing right now.
Drank out of Wild Bill's. Insulated stainless steel
what would be better?
What? Tell us.
If we were drinking it out of a kegerator.
Right. Well, we don't have a kegerator yet.
Or Dave's homebrew.
We don't have a kegerator yet.
Huge shout out to my buddy at Phantom Brewing.
Yes,
for making
thank you very much.
IPA for it. He was very critical of this, so he said he's going to brew us some more. So we'll see what happens. But this is good stuff right here.
Very good.
So cheers. So Merry Christmas. So my buddy Justin sent me this box, and I wasn't expecting it one bit. So he says, hey, listen. He goes, call me before you open it. So I said, okay. So I did, and he said, listen, there's 2 things in the box. He said, one, this thing I've had for a long time, and my mother wanted me to sell it. I didn't want to. He goes, but I know somebody who'll like it, and that's my buddy Everett in Connecticut. Now, he says to me, he goes, you're going to love it because I know what you collect and I know you. And I've only known Justin for 3 or 4 years, but when he says, like, I really know you, it's pretty much all my comic collecting and what my comic book style it is. So I got the box right here. As you can see, I didn't open it. I didn't open it up at all. I did crack it to make it easier for the show. And we got a little knife right there. I'm going to slip my wrist and my arm. So we've got some good packaging. We're going to open it up and we're going to see what's in it. All right. So, packaging, we'll get rid of that. All right. So the first thing is, oh my God, what did you call this? Wow. All right, so we have a second printing of Wolverine and All New Wolverine, #1 CBCS, signed by the man himself,
Francesco Mattina.
Look at that, Live Rock Mattina. So that is absolutely epic. And the story behind my Mattina thing was, I had a couple books that I sent with him to New York to get signed, but everybody kind of like wanted a cut in the action. Like somebody wanted a cut of, you know, CBCS wanted their cut.
It was fun where it was.
They wanted everything to get a cut. So this is a great collection. This is going on my wall. I'm so happy that I have this. So give Nemesis Prime a follow right now. The true variant whore. When you get those variants, hashtag it as variant whore. So this is what he said was his from when he was a kid, and he said I would appreciate it. So we're gonna crack this open, and you know, this is great because this means a lot to me because this has story, this has depth, and this is something that belonged to somebody. It meant a lot to them, and the fact that I'm now getting it, I'm very happy for. I've always stated that a lot of my toys my mom saved for me when I was a kid, and I'm very thankful for that. She's been gone for almost 21 years now. So we're gonna open this up, and look at this, dude. What a binder right here, man. Dude, look at that right there.
Binder full of everything.
A binder full of everything right there, dude. A Marvel Comics Wolverine binder. That is absolutely epic.
That is awesome.
This was dated 1994. And let me tell you, this is in really good shape.
That is a good shape.
It's really good
So
shit,
what
right?
did he say that he had this since he was a
1994,
So he
kid?
had it as a kid. His mom was like, "Look, we gotta get rid of this stuff," and she's like, "Sell it, put it on eBay, or
Why would you
take
give
it."
that away?
Wow, he's a good
It's
guy.
gold.
He's a good guy. He knows I like Wolverine.
Dumb.
You
Where
know
were
what I
you in
mean? So,
94?
what's that?
Where
Well,
were you in 94?
1994, I was a king.
You were in Clemson, right?
No, I was in Guilford, North Carolina.
Spring break.
I was in Guilford, North Carolina, living in college and having a great time. So yeah, so this was my hookup from my buddy. I'm very appreciative of him. So that's awesome. Hey, can you go live on Instagram right now to see who we got for followers?
She's got him.
Yeah.
Okay. So who's
That's
online
it.
right now, Ev? That's awesome.
Let's see. Bernie Walkers.
Mr. Walkers, thanks for joining us. Always, always.
N3M3S Supreme.
Missile
Wild West.
Yeah, Wild West New Haven, my boy Thig. Thank you.
Ex-Illusionary Comics.
Ex-Illusionaries hanging out.
Thank you, brother.
And Heather's Hall.
Alex, hang out. Thank you.
Wow,
That's
wow,
my
that's awesome.
fellow listener on
Hey,
leader.
watch it on your phone now.
Nemesis Prime's on.
You know,
You were supposed to tell us when.
it's all right. No, we'll figure it
All
out.
right,
Go
so
ahead.
here's my thing.
So this
So-
is a great story.
Unboxing.
So listen, so this is a live unboxing, CGC rated books.
Give a shout out to Nemesis.
I gotta give a shout out to Nemesis Prime because I can't wait. I normally can't wait. I'm a member of CGC. As soon as they're graded, I have to look online to see what my books are graded.
There's no
at.
patience.
And I have no patience
No willpower.
whatsoever. No, you're right. I'm a weak man when it comes to that. So he was like, "You got to do a live unboxing." Reverend and I sent 9 books to CGC. There are different tiers, so these 4 came back. They're all mine, and
Okay.
I've not looked at them
Okay.
at all.
All right.
We don't expect the grades.
So.
And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna tell you the grades that I expected them to come back at,
Yep.
and
But you don't
what
know
I
what
would
order
be
they are in the
disappointed.
box, though.
Right, but I'll go over them all.
We'll do them all.
I'll go
All
over
right,
them
so
all.
the first one.
So hold on.
Well, I know which was the first
All right,
one.
what's
Just
the
wait,
first
I won't.
You can look. Okay, you can't see it. All right. So
Why
that's
doesn't
like
ever
one.
just take them out
So
of
the
the box?
first one's gonna be Wonder Woman Volume 2, Number 1.
All right, Wonder Woman volume number 1,
Perez
volume
cover,
2.
right?
He expects it to be a 9.4 or better. Disappointed at a 9.0.
Right.
All right.
So this is the significance of this book. It's the first appearance of Themyscira,
Right.
Wonder Woman's mother, the whole background story that you saw in Wonder Woman.
Right.
This is the book that they first
This is
came out.
epic. This is a great book, done by George Perez,
Yes.
in all George Perez greatness.
So,
This really is a must-have for anybody's collection.
9.6.
9.6. Okay.
wrong side.
Beautiful. So we're happy with that. all
Very
right.
happy with that.
Beautiful. Look at
My
that.
lord.
Now that was bought raw.
That was bought raw.
No
I
press?
bought that. No, I did. No, I had a press.
You did have a press.
I
okay.
did have a press.
Okay.
I said I'm gonna do a shout out to. As soon as I remember his name,
Oh,
press. Yeah.
Impressive comics.
Impressive Comics. He's not really on Instagram. He's on. He does a lot of work. Most of his stuff is on Facebook. But Impressive Comics, Gary Kendry. I sent all these books there, pressed them out, cleaned them, did a phenomenal job.
Beautiful.
9.6. That is. What did I say? I expected it.
9.4.
9.4 or better. 9.6 has got me very
All
happy.
right. Can we use your phone to see who's online and who's commenting? That's what I want.
No one's commented
No,
yet.
it's okay.
We can see. I can see. I'm
Well, I'd
on
like
it.
to read
Yeah,
it
but
too.
you're not helping us.
Yeah. So, yeah, so we're gonna do that. So that's awesome. This
C
is a beautiful
Shaver
book.
00.
So, oh, Chris
All right.
Shaver just jumped online. That's awesome.
All right. So the next one.
Heather's Hangout says Wonder Woman is the best.
Yeah, that's
All right.
awesome.
So the next book is Nova, number 1.
Okay.
First appearance of Nova.
You found that out in the wild.
I found that out in the wild. I was at my niece's
Newport.
wedding in Newport, Rhode Island, and I
You can hear
googled.
it on the speaker.
I googled. What?
You can hear your phone from the speaker.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
That's okay.
So I googled comic book places, and I literally walked in there. There were sawhorses with a piece of plywood,
Unbelievable.
and there were books just laid out on top of it.
Worse than Arts?
Just bad. Just
Was it worse than Arts?
Worse than Arts. It's worse than any LCS. This guy was about, yeah, I'm the only one around. I do everything online. I don't care if you're here. You know, whatever. Leave when you're done.
Right.
He didn't care.
Didn't care.
So I'm going through boxes. I found a bunch of stuff, and you know, my brother ended up walking in 10 minutes after me, and here comes my son, Bubba.
Bubba.
Bubba walks in and says, "Dad, look what I found," and it was the Nova number 1. And the guy's like, "Oh, well, that was supposed to be part of a group of books." But then he looked it up and realized that he better sell it to me because I wasn't buying Nova 1 through 20.
All right, so we want this book because it was found out in the wild. Pressed or not pressed?
Pressed.
Pressed. We want this 9.2 or better. We're disappointed if it's 9.0 or less. All right. Ho ho! Boom boom.
9.4.
9.4. Okay.
Oh my
Look at
God.
that. All right.
All
so
right.
we're doing okay.
Wow.
We're doing okay.
Very happy with that.
All right.
I couldn't ask for more. Out in the wild, for cheap, had it pressed. Gary Kendry, beautiful job. Thank you.
And
Alright.
Supreme said he wished that he had Wonder Woman in a 9.6.
Yeah. Nemesis Prime.
Nemesis Prime.
Nemesis
I don't
Prime.
know.
All right. So,
How we doing, camera girl?
so those of you who follow the show, I do my hip hop spotlight. So this next one is a modern. It's Star Brand and Night Mask #1.
Right.
And it's my favorite album of all time is Gangstar,
Guru,
Hard
right?
to Earn.
Right.
And
We did
so,
that on the Hip Hop
so we did
Spotlight, right?
our
We
very
did.
first hip hop spotlight. We
Yeah.
did that. So I sent it out. I did not have it pressed because it's a modern book.
Right. So we want 9.6 or better. We're disappointed at 9.2.
Oh, Lord.
right.
That's...
So look at
9.6,
that. This guy is on fire right now.
9.6.
9.6.
This
Yeah,
guy
baby.
is on
No pressing.
fire.
I bought it. I bought it out in the wild, I believe, in one of the actually this one I got one of the conventions we went to when they moved it over to East Hartford.
Yes. Okay.
Kidding me? 9.6. I can't.
Beautiful.
I can't.
Huge
complain
shout out
about
to my
that.
good friend Chris Shaver that just jumped on. He's a great guy for pressing. If you want some books, send it to him. We're doing a great job. So huge shout out, Chris. Congratulations to your Houston Astros. Even though they beat our Yankees, but that's okay.
My final book.
All right, so here we go.
So
Here we go. Okay, so
here's
this is
the
a very
story.
funny story. This
Yeah,
is a
very
great
funny story.
Great story.
I love the cover of What If Venom Possessed Deadpool.
Yeah.
And it's been that White Rabbit I've been chasing. I got into a raffle to win it, and I told Mr. Everett about it, and he's like, "Oh, I'll buy a ticket
I'll
to
get
that."
into it.
And he won the damn book.
Right, but this is very funny. So,
And he displays it over in the corner very prominently for me, just to remind me every time I come to the grotto
So it was so
that
funny.
he won it and not me.
I was working one day at the restaurant. The night this all happened. I was working at the restaurant. I was pretty busy. I bartended left and right. The executive producer, Bertine 1869, came in, and I go, "Yeah, Roger and I are in the raffle for that What If book." I said, "I just jumped in for the hell of it." And he goes, "You haven't seen the results?" I go, "No, dude. I'm 3 feet deep in people at the bar. I haven't had a chance." He goes, "Go check." So I leave the bar. I tell my manager to watch the bar. I go to the bathroom. I check, and sure enough, I win the raffle.
And he and he loved to laugh at me.
I didn't laugh to laugh.
He laughed at me.
The irony of it.
And then he says to me, "What? You know you're gonna end up with this book."
Right, and look, he
And,
did.
and then about a month later, he's like, "You know, the book's really growing on me."
Yeah. So,
And the funniest thing about the book is it's the worst story
worst story ever, right? Now,
If
what do you
you
know about that
actually
story?
read the book, it's terrible. It is terrible. It's just the cover is phenomenal, whatever reason.
You say it
So
loud.
I bought it. I
Every
bought it
Deadpool book.
on Instagram. I bought it on Instagram from
Where'd you buy it
Leaf.
from?
Is that
Yeah, Leaf.
Yeah.
Oladipo.
Oladipo?
Yep, yep.
Shout out to
Great
Oladipo. Great price. Send it to me. It was a beautiful condition. Send it out. Got it pressed.
All right, but hold on a second. What is this? This look is a very low print run, right? This What If, and it's 2 main characters. So
It's a
we
lower
are.
print run than the X23 first appearance.
All right, yeah. So we are happy with a 9.2 or better. We're disappointed at anything under than that. The drum roll, please. The drum roll. The drum roll. The drum roll. And we nailed it.
Nailed it. Nailed it with a 9.2.
A 9.2. There you go.
I'm happy.
So-
I would have loved if it was better, but 9.2 I will definitely
Right, but
take.
for a price point, you think
For
you
the
got
price
around
point,
that?
oh my god.
You
For the
agree?
price point, Olipo is probably kicking himself. Now that he sees when it came back out,
Right.
Leaf is probably going,
Yeah.
mother effing.
That's
So
awesome.
those are them.
That's
It
awesome.
took everything I had not to look at them, and I received this box 6 hours ago.
6 hours ago. This was
And
absolutely
I wouldn't open it because between Nemesis Prime and these two guys, they were shaming me into it.
I agree with that.
Those are my books.
All right.
So we
So
have
nothing under.
yeah. So nothing
Look at
under
you.
9 too. Look at this.
Unbelievable, dude.
I'm on this great cake.
You're an elitist. An elitist between
All of a
my
sudden-
book and a 9.0.
All of a sudden, we got another elitist.
This Wonder Woman surprises me.
That's
Remember, low
So-
grade.
Yeah.
Remember,
as
low
part-
grade is better than no grade.
As part of this delivery, I actually sent out 9 books. 5 of them were mine, 4 of them were Everett.
Right.
So we have 5 more books.
We
that
have
we'll
5
end up
books that we're
doing.
waiting on.
We're waiting on.
Yep. And those 5 books are, and I'll go over it and I'll say what we're expecting on it. So right now, I just want to give a huge shout out to our camera women. Right now, we have Evelyn Levesque running our camera, Evie Rose. We have Zoe Zozo. She's the assistant camera woman. She's doing a great job. Over to the right, hanging out with the executive producer, is Cristiano Alfred, our Lego expert. So that's what we have. So we are going to jump to the books that we're expecting. So the books that we're expecting are Batman 181, which is Roger's book, and he's expecting a 6.5 to 7.
I got a
That's
great
lame.
deal on it,
Yep.
and it has the poster pull out on the inside.
Yeah.
That was the people running the booth. She knew I was struggling whether or not I was going to buy it, and as soon as she said the poster's in there,
They jumped on it.
jumped on
Jumped on it. Right. So Roger's gonna happy with 6.5 to 7, disappointed with a 4.5. Now the rest of the books are mine, and if you looked at my previous shows on YouTube, I kind of talked about it. My Green Lantern 7. My Green Lantern 7. I'm happy with a 5.5 to 7. I'm disappointed if it comes back below a 5. I also have my Batman 151, which is the first appearance of the Silver Age Penguin.
Silver Age
Which is
Penguin.
a beautiful book. Chris Shaver pressed all these books. So that would come back at 6.5 to 7.5. I'm disappointed anything less than a 6. Godzilla #1, which was a hookup by my good friend KP Henderson, my boy Kevin. He gave me this
What's
book
the
as a
time?
gift. I'm happy with a 9.4 better.
What's the time?
Disappointed
Doesn't tell me.
at a 9.2. All right. I also have Teen Titans #2, the first appearance of Deathstroke. We all know that book. Everybody in this room covets that book. We'll talk about that book in a little while. I love that book. That book's going to come back at 8.5, I believe. A solid 8.5. If it comes back higher, I'm happy. If it comes back below an 8, I'm disappointed. So those are some things that I want everybody to look forward to as we're moving forward for the rest
Next
of the
show.
year.
Next show. We should
Next
have
show.
those back by
Next year.
show.
Yeah.
In January. Hopefully
So-
the second week.
Right,
Next
right.
year.
So, do we have a giveaway that we wanted to do? Or we wanted to talk about our couple Christmas
Do a
books?
giveaway.
We want to do a giveaway?
Your
And then we
giveaway?
go into
All right.
movies. You want to do mine or yours?
Well, my giveaway has to do with the
With the Justice League. Okay.
No, yours
So-
is the Trump.
I'm not giving that away.
No. All right, so we just want to talk about real quick about the Christmas. So there's
All
a bunch of Christmas
So,
covers. that
Merry
we-
Christmas is what we want to say. So,
yeah, Merry Christmas. to all
I
our
don't know
friends
who else.
on Instagram.
I don't know who else has been following every month. It seems
The
like
Green O joined.
They're doing.
Oh, the Green O's on.
Hey, Dave.
Dave.
We're,
Can
we
we
got
get some Green
we
O
got-
beer?
Can we get some beer? Thanks. So I don't know who else is paying attention, but it seems like every month they're coming out with a comic book that has to do with Donald Trump. They had last month was the Trump against the fidget spinner force, and Sean Spicer's on the cover with Pence and I'm telling you, when I saw this one, I just laughed out loud, and it's
Is it Trump as the Grinch?
yeah,
Oh, it's
it's
unbelievable.
how the Trump stole Christmas.
Camera woman, we got to zoom in
So
on
you
that?
either have to zoom in or show that because they took Trump's face. I'm not sure how much they blew it up, but it's a gold foil cover. It's hysterical. All these books, I've been buying every single one of them that jokes around about Trump. It makes fun of Trump. There's one that had Pence as the president number or whatever. I've been having a blast with these. I don't know who else has been.
Right.
But I'm buying them because I think they're hysterical. So my Christmas cover of the day is Merry Christmas, How the Trump Stole Christmas.
All right, so leave that there. So I decided to jump on this too. I don't necessarily have a comic book, but I do have these cards that I used to get from Wizard Magazine that were from the early 90s. So if our camera woman could jump in and just give us a zoom in on this.
Not quite Nemesis Prime. No Wonder Woman 1 is giving out tonight.
Good try.
Better.
Good try.
You're supposed to tell us when they say stuff.
I was waiting you
All right.
in the middle of talking.
So what I got right here, this is pretty funny. I have
Interrupt.
2 things right here that I got from the Wizard magazines that I've been holding on forever. And it's
Forever?
Todd, forever. So I have Todd McFarlane, Santa Todd, and Jim Lee's Holly Day. And you can take a look right there and zoom in on it. and it's a pretty funny. Those are pretty funny cards. Santa Todd, done by Todd McFarlane. These were from Wizard magazines. They came out in the early 90s, 1993, 1994.
Nemesis Prime says damn.
Yeah. So, so those are stuff that I've had. I've always held on to that stuff, and I'm just happy to have it. So that's my Christmas stuff that I'm going to show. And
Walker says only when Michigan beats Ohio State.
oh, there
Go
we
blue!
Has
Go
Michigan
Big
ever beat Ohio
Go
State?
big blue!
That's huge. That's huge.
All right, so you going into mine?
For your Christmas book?
For my show?
No, we're not there yet. You either give that now or you give it away later.
You want to do your Out in the Wild?
Hey, you're screwing up the process.
No, we're not screwing up the process.
All right. So we've got. So let's talk about the 3 points of the Justice League, right?
Right. So we're
Justice League.
so we're going to talk about the Justice League movie.
Yeah. So we're all going to talk about our 3 things that we liked about it, or 3 things about it that we liked, and we'll just move it in from here. So Justice League, the 3 points that I liked the most was, first thing was I thought it was good, and every 20 minutes I expected something to happen where I didn't like, and it just got better and better and better and better. And I thought Gal Gadot was a fantastic Wonder Woman. So that was it. The scene between the Flash and the Superman race was my second point. I absolutely loved it. One thing that I didn't like was I want a little bit more Aquaman backstory, and I think that's going to come out in his individual movie. I heard there was a lot of stuff that was cut out of that, so I'd like to see Aquaman, a little bit more of his story, a little bit more about Mera and Atlantis. So those are my 3 things. I'll hand it over to you.
Do you have 3 things? You getting in on this? Okay. So, first of all, I think the one thing that I love the most is, and I'm gonna attribute a lot of this to my brother, the Greeno. He's still on. I think he's still on. When he made a point, and I didn't even dawn on me, but so when they had Man of Steel,
He's still there.
that was not Superman. Like, they made him to be such a jerk. Like, Superman is that gosh golly gee backwoods kind of person, and they you know what, and they kind of like, right, he's Superman, all right, but is he really? What I loved about this was he was more like Superman than he was in Man of Steel, and knowing that Superman is the most powerful superhero in any world.
Yeah.
In any world. That scene where he was basically roughing up the rest of the Justice League, and he had all of them, and the Flash was like, I got this. And as he ran around him, Superman's eye followed the Flash.
Right.
And that's when the Flash was like, oh crap. He's just as fast as me. It literally, like, that to me was just like, okay, now they're really they're really creating that Superman is the most powerful. Nobody can beat him. He's as fast as Flash. He can swim as fast as Aquaman. All that stuff. Superman is the ultimate powerful.
Greeno says Hulk can beat Superman.
No, he can't.
Oh, wow. In the Marvel Universe.
That's how angry he is.
Depends how angry, but he doesn't change in the Marvel Universe.
The Greeno's also a lunatic, just a bit.
Walker said Gal Gadot, Flash, and Superman.
Yeah, and so my friend, the favorite part of the movie was the fact that they made Superman. Finally saw that he was actually the most powerful. My favorite scene in the movie is when Superman first was brought to life and he attacked Batman, and he had Batman up in the air by the throat, and he says to him, you weren't happy when I was alive. Now you're not happy when I'm dead.
Yeah.
And Batman says to him, the world needs Superman. And he stops for a second, and he looks at Batman and says, but they don't need you. And he starts to crush his skull until Lois Lane shows up.
Yeah, right.
And I personally think that flashback in Batman Superman,
of course.
when the Flash comes in and says,
Lois
she's the
is
key,
100%.
she's the key,
100%.
that he knew when he told Alfred, we need the big guns,
yes.
and Alfred went and get Lois, that was why they did it.
Right, 100%. I agree, 100%. 100%.
Okay, and my third.
All right.
And then.
KP Henderson says, where's the beer?
And then.
Oh shit, where's the beer?
Yeah.
Show the growler. He missed the growler.
Well, I don't have the growler.
You empty the growler?
I have the growler.
Well, show it to him.
And then.
Hold on.
Kevin, we emptied the growler.
Yeah. This
And
happened.
then.
And then.
I'm going to tell you right now.
What the fuck? I would
I'm
rub
gonna tell you
mine.
right now.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
three's
I'm
the
a huge
party.
Deathstroke fan. I love Deathstroke. When that last picture came through and they showed the silhouette of the swords, I think I might have elbowed my son unconscious like a little kid at Christmas.
Remember that?
Like a little kid at Christmas. And when he, I don't know, still not quite sure how I feel about that Lex Luthor. But when he says Slade Wilson,
Yep.
and he says, Lex, you better not be wasting my time, it takes off
You
his
better
mask.
not be wasting my
I'm
time.
telling you, I was like a little kid on Christmas. I was elbowing my son in the stomach, and he's, leave me alone. Deathstroke, this is gonna make or break that whole, I think, the whole universe.
Correct.
What they do with Deathstroke is going to make or break that universe. And I think he's a key part of what the Justice League and the whole DC thing does moving forward. I have a wonderful mask signed by Wolfman.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah,
Homemade mask.
And
that
if
he
it
made.
wasn't, and it was a homemade
Yeah.
mask I made for cosplay, I had him signed. Perez had to cancel, and I was going to bring it, but it's sleeting and raining outside, and I didn't want to ruin it.
Right.
So, I have a giveday right now.
Right now we're doing a giveaway.
So, here's my
Ooh,
giveaway.
this is a good book right here. Is that a George
Deathstroke.
Perez cover? Who did that cover?
Mike Zeck.
Oh, Mike Zeck.
Deathstroke, the
executive
Terminator.
Producer.
Number one.
Hey,
And I gotta tell you, this is a 9-2 or higher.
9-2 or
9-2 or
higher.
higher.
All right,
What
let's
other
roll.
what other cover around this time came?
Yeah.
So the
So,
question
Mike Zeck.
was,
Yeah.
what was the? Oh,
Oh,
so he wears a patch over his eye.
correct.
First person to tell me how Deathstroke lost his eye
Gets the book.
gets the book.
Gets the
Gets
book.
the book.
Is
Free
Dead-
charge.
Is Deadpool online right now? Because if he is, I sent you your book.
Well,
dude.
he's not that stroke.
That's
So-
joined.
Oh, Deathtrooper 85 just joined us.
So,
Jonathan just joined us.
Who's the first
All right.
person to write? How did Deathstroke lose his eye?
Why does he have the patch? And
Wonker says to Batman, and Death Trooper says wife shot him in the eye.
boom,
Death
there
Trooper
we
gets
go.
it.
That's right.
So Death Trooper,
Jonathan
if you're not
wins it.
following me, at Roger Levesque, private message me, give me your address, and I will send you this
Yep.
book, and I promise it will actually get there.
Okay.
You're supposed to be writing this down.
Whoa,
That's the
whoa, whoa,
executive
whoa, whoa,
producer.
whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh, man.
When was I voted as
So
today?
here, but I want to share one story about Deathstroke. I'm gonna
That's
stay.
not X-Men.
Death
gonna-
said thanks, buddy.
I'm gonna stay. Yeah, make sure you message me because
We
we're
have,
all gonna write it down right now. So if you don't message me, I'm not gonna remember who won the book.
Right.
So I want to tell something I found out, and we all read comic books and we read
Right.
we read stories and this
You
and
read
that. So
comics?
one of the backgrounds
Hold on. I
is-
think Nemesis Prime and Jonathan have both seen Justice League twice, which I have not. So maybe they can
Okay.
reiterate to
all right,
what you're
so,
talking about.
Right. So one of the stories of Deathstroke. I'm not sure what
Death Trooper said, and I have a copy already. Gift to someone who doesn't have one.
All right.
So I have all right. So we'll ask another question. So
Wow.
one of the stories is one of the
Hold on.
blacksmiths
Tell me
for the
it's a free
gods.
credit.
So one
Yeah.
of the blacksmiths of the gods forges a sword for Deathstroke, and they forge the sword so that Deathstroke will kill a god for him. Okay, so in the story, I'm not sure why. I don't remember the name of the god, but he's on Themyscira. I don't know if he's hiding there or if he just lives there. Okay, so Deathstroke goes to Themyscira. Superman and Wonder Woman go there to stop him. He defeats both of them with this sword and kills the god. Okay, so in that story, he nicknamed that sword. Should I be the question? I don't know if anybody else knows that. Do you know what? I'm gonna give 3 minutes. If you know the name, what he
They
named
don't
that
even
sword,
say.
tell me. If you do, you're gonna win. Thanks to.
They didn't even say this is the second.
Death Trooper just said the God Killer.
Thank you.
Again,
That's it. Same guy.
We get,
Well,
Jonathan,
for the love of God, you don't want to give me. I'm sending this to you.
You're getting
I
this
don't
book
care if you have it.
regardless.
You give it to somebody
Give
you
it to your
love.
daughter,
Yes.
please.
KP Henderson says the commentator is doing a killer job and should get extra gifts
Yes,
for
you
Christmas.
definitely should. So, Jonathan, give
All
it to your daughter Zoe.
Nemesis
Zoe,
Prime said God Killer.
All right.
Yes.
So
Second
here's
person.
and here's my question to you guys. When Wonder Woman in the movie Wonder Woman jumps, she decides that she's going to help mankind, and she jumps to the castle and she climbs to the top and she walks in and she sees the sword that she takes. She stops and looks at it and says, "The God Killer."
One spine.
She says, "Seriously, Pat, really?"
Yeah.
Yeah, we're live. You don't understand that?
Keep talking.
So she looks at it and says, "The God Killer." I don't think that's a coincidence. I know Everett doesn't think that's a coincidence.
No, not at all.
There's gotta be a reason it's there. I think it's genius. I think that when you hear all these other little stories, a lot of that stuff they put in there, that sword, and even though eventually her mother tells her that you're the God Killer, the fact that she did that and DC put that in there was pretty neat. Just a little story that I found out in reading.
Yeah, and I think all that stuff is planned.
Oh yeah,
It's definitely all planned. It's all part of their
definitely
writing.
planned.
It's
Definitely. They do their research.
We got Rick Yanni online.
All of a
Rick Yanni
sudden.
should come over.
Alright, so who am I? Am I sending? I'm sending this
Send
to...
it to Death Trooper.
Yeah, Death
Give
Trooper.
it to his daughter. Give it to his
Stop it
daughter
right now.
Zoe.
You answered both questions.
Right.
You shouldn't answer the second one if you don't want it.
Yeah.
So now it's yours.
Yeah.
Give it to somebody who should be reading comics and isn't.
Yeah. So Pat, what are we saying? So this book is a 9.0 that we got from CBCS. So.
I see one freaking spine tickle.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Nemesis Prime. Any reason why you think this book is a 9.0? I mean, I can't tell. I don't know what their secret sauce is. So it's a beautiful book. It's
I
going to
see
be
one
displayed.
spine tickle.
I don't
here.
deal a lot with CBCS, so I don't...
You know, it's going to definitely be hanging out.
Alright, so what's the next one?
So,
We're moving on to Star Wars?
Star Wars. 3
Alright.
points about Star
Right there,
Wars.
right there. There's the spine tickle.
Oh, so that's it. So that's what killed it.
Right by the O's.
Yeah.
But
Good eye. Good
one
eye.
spine tick goes
Yeah.
down to 9-0.
Yeah, I don't know what the secret sauce is. So, all right. So we just saw Star Wars, The Last Jedi. Really loved it, and I know a lot of people had their issues with it and stuff like that. But I took the 3 little Padawans to it. Two things I
Nemesis
really,
Prime says there was a small crease, I think.
Yeah. All right.
Maybe in the back or
Exactly. So
something.
good eye, good eye. So 3 things I really liked about Star Wars, or 2 things I really liked was, I liked the story about how they interwove the Force back into it. Forget about the midichlorites. I don't care about that. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I've erased it from my memory. I like the fact that they talked about.
Greeno says didn't see it yet, gotta go. And Nemesis Prime says boo.
Oh boy. So I like the way they brought the Force into it. The way they talked about the Force is around us. It binds us. It's part of it. Huge memory of when Obi-Wan first told Luke about it. I absolutely loved it. One scene that I can't stop talking about was when Luke was on the planet and the X-Wing was sitting in the water.
Yeah.
And I wanted Rey so badly to use the Force
I
and
think
pull
we all
that
expected
But she
X-Wing out.
didn't. But she didn't.
I think
But
we all expected it.
I wanted her to
She
pull
didn't have
that
enough
out of the water.
midichlorian.
Death Trooper says hashtag not my Star Wars. Nemesis Prime says hashtag not my Luke
Yes, I know
Skywalker.
we're gonna get a lot of
Exactly,
flack for this.
exactly.
We're gonna get a lot of flack, but that's okay. That's
Bah, humbug!
That's okay, because you know why? Because I have this, and I'm going to talk, and I have this lunchbox. And I have this lunchbox from 1977 that I had in 5th grade, or not
Walker
even that.
says-
That's
the same
1977.
movie.
Walker says Paige Turner's they are not.
Yes, okay, so this is my lunchbox. I don't care how bad it was. I absolutely love it. So, one thing I didn't like was I would have liked to, well, the whole casino story, forget about that. I would have liked to see a little bit more about Snoke. He was actually starting to grow on me as a villain, and I thought that was good.
I thought he was awesome.
Yeah, I thought he was good. I thought it was going to be a little bit better. So, I'm a huge fan. I loved every bit of it. Look, everybody's got their quirks with it, but you know what? I'm a believer in the Force, and that's all I have to say
May
about
the
that.
Force be with you.
So I
You?
think definitely, I think it's a very, it's easy to watch. It's got a great story. The person in me that loves Star Wars is part of me is saying all that weird stuff like on the casino, the whole Finn storyline
Yeah.
they did for a reason for the next one. Like
No,
the mercenary that sold them out. He's gonna
Right,
he's gonna be the
Codebreaker.
new he's gonna be the Codebreaker. He's gonna be the new Lando. He's gonna save him in the next movie, or. You saw the resistance on the island at the end of the movie. You had the little kid with the resistance ring, and he reaches out, and the broom comes to him.
Right.
Obviously, in the next couple, is he the new Anakin? I don't know, but
Who knows?
I think that they kind of went they tried too hard to make a storyline so that they can include
Correct.
these other parts for the future.
Yeah.
And I think that's why those things were in there.
Interesting.
I'm not quite sure.
Yes.
So the downfall.
No, yeah, true though.
Rick
Star Wars
Yanni-
gonna be going on 50
Rick
years
Yanni-
after we're dead.
You need new heroes.
50 years after we're dead, they're
going to be going on. So you need new heroes.
Rick Yanni says rewatchability is almost non-existent.
I disagree.
I disagree. You're a little
I think I'll watch
I'll watch
that.
it over and over again.
You want to rewatch just to see what you don't want to watch again.
Yeah, I'll rewatch it.
Here's,
So-
and what
Hold on a second.
really irritated me was
You're alluded to.
Rick Yanni, you're in trouble.
like this was the movie you were gonna find out what the hell is Snoke, and he kills him. Like you don't.
It's so easy.
It was just so. What was
This
he
guy-
there? Like
this guy
Snoke's like I
connected-
got him. I
he-
know his brain.
he
I know everything
connected
about
them.
him. And he connected
He was so
them,
strong.
Gave
He
them
connected.
visions in their minds.
But he couldn't tell this
But he
guy
couldn't
was
tell
going to
he was
put his
gonna kill him,
lightsaber
right.
through
He
his
couldn't
mouth.
tell he was gonna put a lightsaber.
He wasn't a Dark Jedi master. Per
Right.
se,
But
you
no,
know?
that was such
All right,
I-
what say you, executive producer? Your three things?
8-5.
8-5.
A. Fuck.
Rick
Wait.
Yanni says your standards are low. God bless the simple-minded. Nemesis Supreme says
Simple-minded.
Nemesis Prime.
he says I think Ryan Johnston just jumped onto this live show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Two things you liked about it. Executive
The cop. Did they? And we got this with Thor.
Right.
We got this
Didn't
with
like
the
the
Thor
comedy.
movie.
Bernie doesn't like
Paul
the
Dameron-
forced comedy.
Paul Dameron calls up. What's his name?
Finn.
No, he calls up Hux.
Hux.
General Hux.
Yeah, I'll hold. When have you ever seen anybody in the Star Wars universe on a phone?
Phone.
Oh,
Well,
I'll hold. It was just an obvious attempt at comedy.
That you didn't like. Okay.
I didn't like that part.
So what did you like?
I didn't like Luke Skywalker, how he
Ooh.
just like...
Death Trooper says Leia flying around in space. WTF?
What did I
that
like?
was like.
what did you
well,
like, though?
The
Like,
Leia
what
thing
did
was
I like?
kind of like the
They're
Guardians
trying
of the
to
Galaxy thing.
Yeah.
That was kind of a cookie cutter.
You know what I liked? I liked the Battle at Crate.
Okay. I thought
I liked the Battle of Crate. I thought the cinematics were awesome with
Yeah.
the red coming up.
Yeah, off the
Underneath
sand
the
and stuff
white.
like that. I thought it was very cool.
Oh yeah, that was pretty good.
And the other thing
Battle of Crate
was,
was awesome.
I think that I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm sure many of you follow TiVo 14 Tim,
Yeah.
and he had posted a couple of days after the movie, and I mean you have to assume it's meant. You know, you can't. I mean, like you said with Wonder Woman with the sword.
Yes.
It's not by accident.
Right.
So you have to think. So when he posted a picture of the symbol of the
Yes. Of the rebel
the
symbol
rebel
versus
symbol,
the tree that was
and
burning
as
out
you
of the
look
planet.
at you look at the tree that
Yes.
held all the Jedi scrolls.
Yes.
They looked very eerily.
I am going to
similar.
interject. I do like the fact that at the end of the story in the Millennium Falcon, they opened up the drawer and the Jedi scrolls were still there. That was very, very cool to me. So, that as part of what I liked about it, the Jedi lore was very cool. So, like it, dislike it, it's there. We're
Wonker
gonna watch
says
it,
Yoda
watch
and
it.
Luke dusting off his shoulder.
Let's go off his shoulder. Yeah, I did like Yoda.
I
though.
like Yoda,
that.
and I like that it was old Yoda. I like that it was
like
old
R2 too.
Yoda.
All of a sudden, Yoda can show up whenever he wants.
Of course,
Yoda.
so that's what the Force. And I guarantee.
So they're never really dead, though.
No, they're part of the Force.
Force.
So they're part of the Force.
Part of the
You
Force.
don't get the
Of
Force. You don't get the
So we
Force.
get
So,
Luke for life.
Some people get the
No,
Force.
and
Luke
I
for
agree.
life.
Luke
Yeah,
is
yeah.
definitely going to come back. Luke is definitely going to come
Yeah.
back.
He's
and
going to be
he's
her
gonna
strength.
in that villa and stuff like that. So,
Alright.
all right, moving next, we're going to go to our hip hop spotlight, which I think
Alright.
is pretty fun. So,
All right.
let's move on to that.
Yeah.
So,
Big.
Turn this off.
what's that?
You made me turn the music
Yeah,
off.
you got right there, right there.
All right. So
Oh, you got the shirt on,
Turn the
too.
volume
I
up.
do, I do.
all right. So
This album is dedicated
Christmas.
today's hip hop spotlight is a notorious B.I.G.
Biggie Smalls.
Ready to die. Biggie Smalls, Notorious B.I.G. He's gone by all those names. His real name is Christopher Wallace. When his first album came out, he was like 21 years old.
This is East Coast rap at its best.
East Coast rap, right. So, one of the biggest things, so it came out in 1994. So, one of the greatest things is everybody wanted to see what the album looked like. So, this is what the comic looks like. Astonishing Ant-Man, #1. There's the album cover. That's what the comic looks like. Love these comics. the beginning of the hip hop variants.
Yeah.
Marvel did a great job
That's
of
gotta be
doing
an early issue,
all
right?
the great, all the early issues were the greatest hip hop albums from the late 80s, early 90s. They did those first. They moved on to, they did so many of them. Eventually, into some of the newer stuff that the computers actually generate all the music and stuff. That's my little thing. That's my little thing. So the biggest thing about Biggie is he was the person who revitalized East Coast hip hop.
Yeah, 100%.
Because what had happened is all the commercialism of West Coast hip hop between Dre, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg when he came out, the commercialism and all the stuff that was played on the radio started to grow it. When Biggie met P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, whatever the heck you want to call him. And I'm not a big fan of P. Diddy. I don't think he has any talent as a musician.
Correct.
But he's a hell of a producer.
Agreed.
And what he visualized was I could take someone like Big Papa and I could commercialize him and still not turn away the hardcore rap fans. So when they started this album, they started with a record label, and he produced all this hardcore because the record label wanted this hardcore thug life.
Right.
This is a glorifying thug life, and so P. Diddy got fired from that record label and started, what's it called, Evelyn?
Bad Boy.
Bad Boy Productions.
Bad Boy Productions.
Started Bad Boy Productions. Biggie went with him because he believed in P. Diddy, and when he went to Bad Boy, P. Diddy said, I'm not sure he said it to him. He realized that he needed to commercialize it to be able to keep up with the West Coast. So when songs like Juicy, Big Papa, One More Chance, these were the 3 singles that came out. They were commercialized. They were made for mainstream radio. There's less swearing, a lot less beeping on it if you had to censor it. But if you listen to the stuff that he originally wrote for, it's still that hardcore. And the biggest thing about Biggie is he acknowledges not only the excitement of being a drug dealer, a gangster and all that, but he also stresses how hard it is to do that. Like, you gotta look out for other dealers, robbers, even his own family members will stab him in the back for a couple bucks. And up until this point, all that East Coast rap that came out that we used to talk about, Mobb Deep and stuff, glorified rap, glorified the thug life and doing all that. They never told you what was bad about it. And Biggie would do that. And the other thing about Biggie that was attractive is that he's got that loose, easy flow to his lyrics.
He flows. He just flows and flows.
A lot of people, and there was an article I read that said that when he went to the new record label, P. Diddy, he showed up at the studio and said, I'm pretty sure I remember the lyrics, I'm going to freestyle this song.
Right.
And he didn't have the stuff down in writing. He didn't have the lyrics with him. He just freestyled. And one of the songs on the album, he completely freestyled and they cut it, done, put it on the album without even changing it. And because that's just how easy it came to him. And that whole flow. And the other thing was, you can listen to the lyrics and it'll have all this gangster and then I get arrested and then he'll throw something funny in about, and that humor.
Birthdays was the worst days. We shipped champagne on a Thursday.
I mean,
Beautiful,
it's hysterical.
right?
It's hysterical. It's genius. The lyrics are great. It flows. It's not forced. And he not only glorified what he did, not only glorified what he did, but told you about the bad stuff about it, and then made it funny at the same time.
Yeah.
And he revolutionized how people looked at it. I mean, it's a shame he was taken. He got shot in 1997. He was only on the scene from 90. This album got released in 94. He was shot in 97. Whether you believe that Tupac did it or not, I don't know. That's a whole West Coast, East Coast thing.
Tupac got shot beforehand.
We know, and we know
that's
some
a whole
guy
other
showed
thing
up.
that you can go find it on Netflix or something like that because we don't know anything.
Right, we don't know. But in 2006, Time Magazine included this album on their top 100 greatest albums of all time. Not just rap albums, like greatest albums of all time. I mean, that's huge. The guy was around for 4 or 5 years. People got to hear him, and everything he did was gold.
Yeah.
And he's just
Death Trooper says him and Pac are sitting on a bench in Cuba.
Yeah, really, exactly.
That's right.
Elvis is with him too.
Sipping 40s, pouring them out.
Elvis is
rolling
there
blunts.
too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I wouldn't blame him. So,
You got Teen Titans 12?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did pick that up. So
Yeah, so the 3 singles, Juicy, Big Papa, One More Chance. But if you listen to Give Me the Loop, you know, this is stuff that, this is the hardcore stuff. When he first came out, this is the hardcore stuff. Is, you know, and I think when P. Diddy, like I said, I know he rode the coattails of Biggie, and he's still riding the coattails of Biggie, but he was a producer, and he was smart enough to realize that if I take this guy and commercialize him, his CD had enough commercial and enough hardcore rap to be able to please everybody, and that's what revitalized everything happening on the East Coast once Dr. Dre and all those guys were taking over there. So I'm gonna do a giveaway.
you're not really for this.
I'm gonna do a giveaway, and this is trust me, it's not about rap. So, I'm gonna do my giveaway based on Ant-Man. So if you know Ant-Man, pay attention.
So Ev, you gotta help us out with this because you're.
Yeah, I'm watching.
All right.
All right.
So this is what I'm giving away is the Joe Quesada double gatefold cover of Marvel Legacy 1.
Nice.
Opens up into a 3-fold. It's a very nice book. You know, I came from Midtown. I've never taken it out of the package. So this is a 2-part question, and you need to get both of them right.
All right.
So I need to know what book is the first appearance of Ant-Man,
Yep.
and what book is the first appearance of Scott Lang as Ant-Man.
All right. So Evelyn, let us know.
I know.
I know. I want to answer this too. Evelyn, so let us know. Let's start
All right.
answering.
Wonker says TTA 27. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And what about Scott Lang?
It's a 2-part question. You need both of them.
How did he get? He said that even before you
Yeah. So he's good.
said
So,
the question.
so we got TTA 27.
Wonker's TTA Marvel Premium 48.
All right, that's both Walkers.
Premium?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Premiere.
All right,
All
so
right,
Walkers,
Walkers,
your book.
congratulations.
I don't
Thank
think
you
I
for
have your
watching.
address, so make sure you DM
I
me
do,
your
I do.
message.
And I don't trust me.
No, don't trust
me.
ever.
Don't trust
DM
me.
me your address, and I promise you will get this book.
All right, awesome. Oh, that was good.
And that's
All right.
that's what I got.
All right.
Homage to Biggie. Rest in peace.
Yeah. All right, so now we're going to shift over a couple minutes. We're going to go to our executive producers. Top 10 picks out in the wild. You're up. Let's see what you got. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Good luck with that. 9:52.
All right. So we're going to roll through this.
You have
Background music?
about 10 minutes.
Yeah, we got about 10 minutes to
10
go
minutes.
through this. Here we go.
So I gotta roll through this.
Yeah,
So,
it has to happen
these are
fast.
all your stuff out in the wild, right?
No, usually guys, I do out in the wild and usually it's like stuff. I'm a mailman. I've been busy the last 2 months. I have been busy the last 2 months.
He goes, I'm a mailman.
So I am doing my top 10 of the year. But I got 3 giveaways.
Oh, man.
3 giveaways.
3 giveaways. This is going to be like, let's make a deal, right?
Everett Auto's pay for shipping on one. So we'll start off the first one.
Yeah.
Since I said I'm a mailman.
Yep.
Last 12 days. Alright, normal time of year I average about 75 package deliveries a day.
Okay. What are we up to right now? What was
Well,
today?
that's gonna be whoever can guess closest to how many
many
packages I've delivered in the last 12 working days gets the first book, and it's their choice: A, B, or C.
Okay. So you do 75 a day.
No, on normal.
Normal. All right. So we're looking. So 75 is the norm. You're looking at a number that that you're average.
Whoever gets this closest.
All right,
I mean,
so
it's
you
just
got
a
a number in
random
your mind.
guess.
All right.
I got it.
Nemesis Supreme says
That was
3.
Nemesis
Prime.
Oh my god.
Christ.
It says something. Whatever.
Okay.
He said 340. Death Trooper says 1,350.
All right. So we're a little high on those
Well,
numbers.
I mean, are we gonna wait till everybody guesses, or
All right. Well, we
Yeah.
don't have a few people guessing.
See if
how
we
many
get.
people we got guessing?
Let's see if we get any
Can I
more
get a
people.
Jameson?
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see. Let's work on that.
Greeno says 250.
Oh, okay.
250. When I average 75 a day, we're talking a
07 join.
12-day span.
Walker says 1,500. And Death Trooper says $1.
Yanni says 1,000.
All
A
right.
12-day span.
Okay.
All right.
Give us the answer.
All right.
Who's closest?
Who's closer?
I don't know the answer.
Who's the highest?
The
Nobody's
highest
even
number
close.
is 1,350.
No,
Who's
50.
that?
No, Walker's had 1,500.
1,500.
And Nemesis, whatever, says, does Sundays count?
Sundays.
No, I did not
Sundays
include
does
my.
not count.
I did not include my Sunday.
All right. Sundays does not count. All right. So.
Wait. He's thinking.
Who's
All right,
thinking?
listen, how many viewers we have?
Nemesis Prime.
All right.
7.
Like 7 or 8 or so. All right.
I may only be giving away one.
All right. So.
All right,
What's
so
the answer?
By the way, these 3 books,
Oh, Chris
if you
enjoying.
follow me, you know
Scrap early
two
one,
of them
too.
are my 2 favorite artists.
2 of your favorite artists. I like
The other
that.
one, he's not my 3rd, but he's top 10.
Okay, what's
Man,
the,
actually,
what's the
29, so
answer?
I know.
What's the answer?
What's the answer is 2092.
All right. So our highest bidder was
Walker.
Wonkers.
Mr. Walker. So Mr.
1,500.
Walker's.
Walker's A, B, or C?
Mr. Walker's A, B, or C? Mr. Walker, let's go. Mr. Walker's a loyal fan of this show. Thank you
Yeah.
very much for sticking out through this. Because you must be saying,
You're a loyal bed.
yeah, what you must be saying, what an S show this is here tonight.
Oh.
All right. So which one, A, B, or C, Mr. Walker? What do you like?
Mr. Wonkers. Let's see if he's still.
Let's see what
Let's
he
see if
said.
he's
A.
left.
He says A.
It says A.
All right. What
This
do we
is
have for
A.
A?
All right.
Oh, I like
Flip
this
it.
book. Can I show this book?
You can show this one.
I like this
You
one.
know who this artist is?
No. I apologize. I know it's an exclusive.
No, it's a new grade.
Just
Show
New
her
grade.
right
on the
It's a
phone.
new grade. Come
There we
here.
go.
One
What
at
book
a
is
time,
it?
come
Oh,
on.
yeah, there we
It
go.
says
You
Gabrielle
don't hurry up.
Yeah, Gabriel Delato. There we go. Old Man
You
Logan.
guys don't hurry up, we're gonna get cut off.
Gabriel Delato.
Oh, that's
Old Man
so
Logan,
cute.
number 1. I love this comic. There you go, Mr. Walkers. We're going to get this out to you. There you go. You are the winner. I like this style of giveaway. Congratulations. All right.
Well,
About-
since you like it so much,
about
this one you're
mailman.
giving
Didn't
us
you just
your
win
show.
one of mine, Jim?
Yeah, I know. Mr. Walkers wins a lot
Alright.
on our shows.
So usually I come here with my out in the wild thing,
Yep.
but I've been delivering 2092 packages.
Packages. Oh, jeez.
Not counting the help I got.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm going
Doesn't tell
top
me.
10 of the
All
year.
right. All right, so
Top
what we got?
10 of the year. Number 10.
All right, here we go.
I spent a lot of time chasing these down.
What do we got right there? Oh, the Spawn. There we go. All right.
One, thank you, variant. I actually had 3 of these copies.
Oh, he did. Oh,
big time.
But I
boy.
did sell 2
Oh,
of
Mr.
them.
Big Time.
And
All right.
so that was my number 10 pickup.
Number
of the
10.
year.
All right, good pickup. There we go. Let's put it right here so we don't know where they're there. There we go.
And,
I can
I'm
ogle
making
over
them
them.
away from you.
I can ogle over them. Yeah.
All right,
All
number
right,
9.
number 9. Best pickup of the year.
Number 9. I probably looked over this book at least 20 times.
And then you finally decided to buy it.
No. Then I didn't decide to buy it.
Stole it.
No. Negative. Son of a bitch.
I got it.
I kept thinking, I know that cover from somewhere. I don't know what's so special about it, but
How about you show it to us?
it was $19.99. Then it got marked down to $11.99 with my discount. But it's like a $150 book.
Really? Okay. Miss America.
America, Art
America.
Adams.
All right.
I
I
don't
don't know
know.
too much. I don't know about that book.
I don't
at
know
all.
anything about
I don't
it
know
either,
anything about
but when I looked it up, it's selling for $150.
All right, there you go. Nice pickup. All right.
I don't like it that much.
I don't like it that much. You don't sell it to me for what you paid for it then. Jeez. What a guy.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Michael Turner, baby.
Michael Turner the Burner, one of his faves.
Finally,
All right.
Wolverine 66 to
Yep.
Michael Turner Burner.
Yeah.
Variant.
That's a great book.
And I
Awesome.
still haven't got the sketch yet, but
No?
that's
All
number
right.
8 on this year's list.
That's pretty good.
Are you zooming in? Is that one?
I already
Actually,
did.
she is.
Yeah, good,
I'm
good.
watching.
All right.
Oh,
So we're on- we're on the six
every
right
book
now. We're
has
on
a
the six.
story.
We're on the 6.
Every book has a story.
Oh, this book. I like this book.
We go to this
We
random
go to a show.
show
We go to a
that
show.
This guy brings
3
me
men
to.
in a little car.
Yeah. They all find books that they want.
Yeah.
He finds a
A bunch of
Batman
books.
181.
3.5.
Wonder
that's gonna be a
Woman.
7.0. You know. Well, then We go to a restaurant after, and I bought this on eBay.
He was so
after.
mad. He's like, I'm buying something on eBay right now.
I couldn't afford it.
He was so mad that he had to spend some money. So we're at like Applebee's and like.
So I bought it's a
That's a
classic
great book.
Neil Adams cover. 244.
Classic
I'm
Neil
still
Adams.
looking for a 232 or a 227 if anybody's
If they're out there, hit us up. Have cash, tip money.
Ex-Illusionary Comics said nice.
Nice, ex-illusionary. Thank you. God, I wouldn't have book money. All right, here we go. What do we have?
Okay,
next?
I'm gonna do these as I'm gonna do these together as number 5.
All right.
Long Island. I had free comic book day last year. My son has a baseball tournament in Long Island, so I had to go out to Long Island. So I jettisoned over to New Jersey beforehand.
Yeah.
And visit my favorite comic book store ever.
Zap
Zap.
Comics. And what do you find
Zap.
there?
I got one of them at Zap.
Woo!
And it's not Siege 3, but it's let's see, we got the Mexico
Mexico
Zap.
Zap. All
It's
right.
a Lamole variant of Deadpool, J. Scott
I don't know
Campbell.
that book. Do you have that book, Rod?
I do.
You do. I don't have that book.
You have this book?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that book.
The Mexican version, or
I don't know if it's Mexican for you.
I don't
you have
think so.
Siege 3?
What makes it
I
Mexican?
don't know. I have a cover with that guy on it.
It's
I don't
in
know what to
Mexican.
tell you.
Oh,
I mean,
It's in Spanish.
this is good. Okay.
and then also on that same trip at a different store I found
Oh.
And then,
New Mutants.
and this was right around the same time that I got rid of my
You're on the bane of your
the bane of my
existence.
existence.
The bane of your existence.
In 2016, we went to Rhode Island Comic Con. We were supposed to
Oh
get
my God.
Liefeld and Stan Lee to sign.
Right, and we did. I did. He went nuts. He came back a low grade. He was so happy.
We
He
came,
overpaid.
and then we only got Stan Lee to sign it. Came back only a 9.2, and I was all pissed.
Yeah.
I ended up selling it.
Talking
making
about
my
Mad
money
Pat.
back. But then I found this at a good price. So
All right, there you go. Here, raw dog. Let's
So I got
send that
two
in. Let's send
Deadpools
both
there.
of those in. All right.
I don't.
I don't slap
Alright,
my
what are we
books.
at? 4?
Okay.
4? Oh, 4.
Yeah. We're at 4. Oh, there we go.
Oh.
There we go.
Anybody that follows me knows my fantasy football team is Legion of Doom.
From the Super Friends.
Who's the best Legion of Doom member?
Bizarro.
Negative.
Sinestro.
Negative.
Sinestro.
Negative. Black Manta.
Black Manta. So this is your second
Now,
copy.
Subjective.
No, this was my second
Second
copy.
copy. Okay.
But I bought this copy from
Let's see.
Art.
Yep.
Grade
Look at that. This is a
it.
nice
Grade it.
copy.
Grade it
Yeah,
for
it's
me.
a beautiful book.
No,
Have you
grade it
seen that
for me,
book right
please.
there? Oh, grade it for you. Oh boy.
It's a 4.
Now this one,
Wonker says Hawk.
I already had a slabbed 5.0 on this.
This is a nice book. I'd say it's about a 5, 5.5. Nice looking book. Nice looking book. Ocean Master,
I mean-
Black Manta. Nice
Yeah,
book. Nice
so-
top loader.
Number
Can
3.
you hold it up again?
Yeah. There we go.
So I was happy because then I was able to sell my slab
Oh, you're a flipper.
for double and then pay for that.
You're a flipper.
So that was good.
Second
So
dog.
that's my number 4.
All
And
right.
it's Black Manta.
It is Black Manta. Very nice. I
Number
see.
3.
Very nice.
All right.
All right. What are we at
Number
right now?
3. Oh. Image blind box. Does everybody remember Image blind
Remember when we
box?
did all the image blind box? That was very funny.
Yo, that was funny, actually.
Here's Negan.
There's Negan.
You still have that? I thought you sold that.
No, I sold the original art.
Oh, minute 49 remaining.
All right, so we got
Okay, so here's Negan original art.
What's that say?
No,
Dark Side Jedi just joined.
Dark Side Jedi just joined.
I sold the original art. Here's Negan.
How much you guys? I want to buy that.
I'm not selling this one.
Everything's for sale.
1 minute.
Come on for
A
trade.
minute 30.
All right,
Alright,
All right, here we
number
go.
2.
number 2. Boom, 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 boom. Here we go. Ryan, thanks for joining
Francesco
us.
seconds.
Matina.
Oh boy, here
It's
we
6
go.
seconds.
Fuck, I forgot one.
60
here we
seconds.
Hurry up.
Which one's that?
Dark Knight's
Oh,
Metal
of course.
It's
Hottest
the best
book right
cover
now.
ever.
Hottest book going right now.
But number 1.
Hottest book going.
But number 1.
Here we go. The number 1 best pickup of in a while.
For $2.
I don't believe this. I don't believe this. Forget it. I don't believe it.
$2.50.
These are lies. It's
I
unbelievable.
hate that guy.
Cover
It's
price I
unbelievable.
found this
It's
book.
unbelievable. I coveted this book. I finally got one. It's unbelievable. I paid 10. Yes.
This was
Have
90.
it right
Yes.
there.
I know. So I'm happy you're gonna sell this to me.
All right, do you have another giveaway? We're done.
No,
40
I got two
seconds.
giveaways, but we don't
We
have
got 30
time.
seconds. So
We don't have time.
all right, everybody. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays,
I fucked
Hanukkah,
up.
Kwanzaa.
Because I love my Mrs.
You made that
Spider-Man
mistake.
39 too.
All
We
right,
want to say thanks for joining us. Happy New Year. We'll
Happy
see
New
you
Year,
guys
Merry
next
Christmas. Thanks
year
for
for
joining
live
3 Men in the Basement,
unboxing.
Otto's Grotto, all things geek and unique, featuring these three men.
But I wanna
It's
give
gonna go on
away this.
YouTube. We'll figure that out at some point. We'll give it away
Give it
before
away on
we
We'll do a raffle after.
We'll do a raffle after.
On
So
YouTube.
thank you very much.
Everybody's-
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah,
We'll
peace
figure out
out.
whose
Thank
viewers
you.
are in.
All right.
Everyone says good night.
All right. Hold on.
Alright, we got viewers.
Oh my God, I don't know how this went wrong.
Good night.
Whoa.